Yo, this story is extremely bizarre. And let's start it off this way with saying rest in peace to Nolan Xavier Wells. Sad to see young brother playing sports, playing football, about to go into his next season, comes from a beautiful family down in Mississippi, and it's just sad to see the way that this story ended. But what everyone is hoping for is justice for Nolan. The only thing that's kind of iffy is the city he comes from. We're all worried, is that justice ever gonna actually come? For those that haven't heard the story, Nolan was on a boat with his friends to Horn Island in Mississippi on July 4th. Like many other young people, just trying to have a good time, turn up, have some drinks, see some shorties, see some nalgas clapping if possible, respectfully, to say the least. And it looks like throughout the day, his day just took a dark turn.
The moments before some of Nolan Wells' friends left Horn Island off the coast of Mississippi. A mom of one of the friends last week said the group left without Nolan when their boat began malfunctioning.
We're sinking. Can y'all please come?
NBC News has obtained audio as part of a records request that details the group calling for towing assistance.
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Nolan went to the island in a boat with friends on July 4th. His body was found 2 days later. It's unclear whether Nolan was with anyone when he disappeared. This as the search for answers in the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells continues. His family's attorneys saying they'll now work side by side with investigators to analyze Nolan's cell phone.
So everybody will be able to see at the same time what the cell phone has.
Nolan's parents previously said they believe content may have been deleted from the phone. The case will be presented to a Mississippi grand jury once the investigation is complete. The local district attorney telling NBC News that's a standard practice for cases with an unknown cause of death and not an indication that a crime was committed. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter says his team has interviewed several witnesses and is working to get answers for the family. Do you feel like you're getting useful information that's been helpful to figuring out what happened?
Yes, sir. We're getting very useful information, and we appreciate the public coming forward with what they've had, and we don't want them to be hesitant.
Today, the family met with the district attorney for more than an hour.
It was just a meeting where she talked about the process. She didn't tell us any information about the investigation. We're trying to get to those answers.
As tonight, Nolan's family prepares to hold his funeral next week.
He would not want us to be sitting around crying and eating, and so what we're going to do is kind of have a party to celebrate him.
Tom, the state and independent autopsy results are not back yet. The family attorney says he does plan to release those.
But when we saw the images of them on the boat smiling together, Nolan hugging his other friend by the waist, a little crazy to me though. I've been friends with my boys since Little League. We've been friends our whole life. Let me tell you this, none of them niggas have ever in their life ever thought about holding me by my waist, because I'm crashing out. I don't know if it's just me, but watching these pictures and seeing one dude holding Nolan by his waist, and the first picture when all three of them are on the boat, the other man holding him by his thigh, like, why is everybody touching me? This shit is giving me Get Out vibes. Like, why is everybody touching me? Why am I the center of attention here? And I'm the only one that look different. Why? Don't touch me. We could dap up, put your arm around my shoulder. I don't even like people little bro me and put their arm around me. I don't even like that. Before somebody holding me by my waist like I'm Shakira. What then was said was Nolan was speaking to a female in the island, shooting shots, when then this is where the confusion starts. Many believe that his boat left, the one that he came on with all his friends, they left to mainland. Nolan stayed in Horn Island. But the girl did say no. He told me and even cut the conversation short because he allegedly was leaving back to mainland with his friends that came because the boat was leaving. And this is where the story just starts getting so confusing and nothing starts making sense.
Earlier today, the family of Nolan Wells met with the district attorney who confirmed the investigation will eventually be turned over to a grand jury. They're still wondering what happened to the 18-year-old on the July 4th weekend. Let's bring in Anna Schechter, who runs our crime unit. She's joining us right now. Anna, so what are we learning about those new details in this case? What can you tell us?
Well, we actually have obtained new movement records, GPS data. Our Jared Eggleston and Skylar Henry down in Mississippi obtained this from a Mississippi entity, and it actually shows exactly where the boat left from when it arrived at Horn Island. You're seeing, as that scrolls down on your screen there, you're seeing that July 4th, that tracking movement, the vessel reaching Horn Island around 11:14 a.m. And then we also see when the boat left. Now, as we've been reporting, Nolan Wells was not on that boat, although his keys and phone were. And so we see the boat then go and actually dock at a different location, then drive overland to the home of the owners of the boat. So this is new information that is all being reviewed by investigators who are still trying to figure out exactly what happened to Nolan Wells, Mugo.
Yeah.
That night, he never made it home. His mother goes on Facebook and starts talking about how her son is missing. If you've seen Nolan, please do anything you can to help us get him back. Let Nolan know that we're looking for him. And remember those boys that he was on the boat with as well. I'm hearing rumors that one of them did report him missing that night as well at 11 p.m., which is just a bit confusing with the stuff that we're gonna see that has been coming out lately. It's just not lining up at all. Due to that, a lot of people started going out there looking for Nolan, as in third parties, the Coast Guards, his family themselves went back to the island to try to see if they can find Nolan. And on July 6th, I believe that was the day that they actually found his body on the island.
The family of the missing Mississippi teen, Nolan Wells, has identified the body that was found on Horn Island as the 18-year-old. Officials said that the body, which is believed to be that of 18-year-old Nolan Wells, was found around 8:45 a.m. by a park ranger. Jackson County coroner said DNA testing will officially confirm the identity, but did say, quote, "There is no reason to believe it is not him." The sheriff also added that the body found did match the description of Wells, and the family posted on social media confirming the unfortunate loss.
We just want to know. We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home.
We have the honor and the privilege of helping to lead an independent investigation on behalf of the family of Nolan Wells. Why do you say we need to be retained to lead an independent investigation? It is because the family has distrust of the Mississippi law enforcement officials giving them a fair investigation where their black son ended up dead after going out on a boat with 3 young white men. The history of Mississippi is something that they don't just read about in books, but it's a lived experience for many black Americans.
He was a special kid, but again, just heart was so big. And we're gonna miss him dearly. We just want to know. We want an honest, thorough investigation. That's all we're asking for.
But they were looking from, I believe, since July 5th, because his grandfather said something, if I remember correctly. I believe it was his grandfather. How are they looking for my nephew the day before? No one finds him. But then magically the next day, he's there on the island. It just doesn't add up. And we're seeing a lot of rumors of like, what happened to Nolan? Did he drown? Did he get too intoxicated and fall in the water? Did he fall and hit it? Like, what happened? Why did everyone clear that island and Nolan was there by himself? It just doesn't make sense. And we also hear that Nolan's friends had his phone. Why? A teenage kid not having his phone by his hip like a holster, it just doesn't make sense to me. For them to then leave the island and leave this dude stranded on the island with no phone at all, that's not a bit crazy. And it's not like, oh, yo, Nolan left his phone in the boat. Let's go drop it off at his parents' house so when he gets back, like, yo, Nolan stayed on the island, but we got his phone. No. I believe it was his aunt or his father ended up going and tracking the location to the phone and actually picking it up.
Like, I'm not. He's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it, and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone, they tracked it. And that highlights all these contradictions, Michael. The fact that they said Nolan was talking to a young woman and she said that he said, I'm going back to get on the boat with the boys. The boys said that he said he was gonna stay with her. And so that's an obvious contradiction. And then this video of this, you can hear an argument going where Nolan is saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And so then his phone ends up missing. I don't know any teenagers, Michael Strahan, who says, if you believe their story, I'm gonna stay behind and I'm gonna leave my phone.
I mean, no young person leaves their cell phone. And so then there's so many things their parents were telling us about, even why didn't his body wash up with the tide on Sunday? Why would it come on Monday? It's not adding up. And that is the problem when you think about the history of Mississippi.
The last time we spoke and saw Nolan was July the 3rd. Our friend actually, when I called her, Nolan is best friends with her two sons, Jalen and Javon. When I called her, I said to Shima, have you seen Nolan? He's missing. Nolan has seen him. Nolan has talked to him. The boys were actually with her sons. So they opened up their Snapchat because a lot of the kids do have their locations where they're tracking one another. But my Life 360 location was showing something completely different. It was actually showing that his phone was like he was on land. And so we ended up, she received the phone from that parent, and then we met up where his car was, which was at a separate location. There were issues obtaining the key.
When we got to the house, a few of his friends, they were already there, and they were...
Which a lot of stuff, like his Snapchat messages and stuff, was wiped out, which they're saying that was extremely strange as well. Even the mom was saying Nolan used to take images and pictures all the time, send it to me, send it around. Now to see everything wiped out on his phone is just extremely weird. And it makes it even more eerie and weirder when we see the videos that are coming from people saying allegedly that was Nolan and his group in a discussion, and you hear somebody saying, give me back my effing phone, what are you doing? Again, we have no proof that this was Nolan or his friends, but that is what's being spread around the internet, and it's just eerie with him hearing someone screaming that.
Door in the house, asking questions. The guy, he's in one of the pictures, he came out of the room, half asleep or whatever, and I said, yo, I'm Nolan's father. I'm here to get his keys so I can get his car. I said, his car was in New York. His car was pointed in New York. So he was like, I don't know, man. I don't know it's like my brother. I said, well, if you know it's like your brother, would you please go in the room and sit with me and find my son's keys so I can take his car? He walks off, 2 or 3 minutes, come back. I can't find the keys. So walk outside by the car. One of the guys that was in the house with us, he was on the phone with a girl, and the girl told him that Nolan's keys were on top of this Jack's guy's Xbox in the house because apparently she was there with him earlier. So he goes back up to the door by himself, and 5 minutes later, the keys come out. So now I feel like you're lied to me. So now I'm really in distrust with you.
But honestly, for both instances, it was a runaround because I know she had issues getting his phone as well. And she ended up calling me, and I think I spoke with the mother. She put me on speakerphone, and I was like, hey, yes, I'm Christine, I'm Nolan's mom. We need his phone, we're trying to find him. His friend contacted me, it was around 11:07, and then I called my friend to ask her had she seen him, because that would be the only other place I would think he would go if he were back on land. And so then when she told me no, she's like, don't worry, I'm going to look for him. And that's when we got on the phone. I was directed to call DMR. They handle cases with the island or the water in that area. So the young lady took the information down. My husband and I, we met an officer in McDonald's parking lot. I think at this point it's maybe around 12. Don't quote me on that. But we explained to him, what it looked like, age, all those things. Last time he was reported seen, which again, by his friend, he said that the last time he physically saw him was at 3 p.m. and they were getting ready to leave the island. But I do want to say this. I would hope that any parent who, God forbid, would be in our situation, I would hope that you would do the same thing. I would hope that you would ask for any help, receive any help to get answers, because at the end of the day, that's all we want. We just want to know. We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home.
And now we know that Nolan didn't have his phone and his parents had to go get the phone from him. It breaks my heart. And hearing his father going over there trying to go get those car keys and having to, you know, contain the anger he has inside so he doesn't scare these kids to shut the door on his face and not speak to him at all. That definitely takes a lot of strength, my brother. That definitely takes a lot of strength. We did hear detectives say when they looked at his body, there is no evidence of foul play as of now, but it is an ongoing investigation.
Another update in the tragic death of Nolan Wells. The Mississippi sheriff overseeing the case tells TMZ detectives haven't found evidence of a crime at this point. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter tells TMZ investigators have interviewed several of Nolan's friends and other witnesses as detectives work to piece together the 18-year-old's final hours. John says everything investigators have gathered so far indicates no crime has taken place. With that being said, he cautions the investigation remains active and tells us assessment could change if new evidence comes to light. The sheriff tells us detectives are continuing to interview additional witnesses while also sorting through emails, texts, and social media tips from people claiming to have information. Right now, much of it remains unverified. One major focus is the viral video making rounds online that appears to show a group of people arguing on Horn Island near where Nolan's body was found before the camera pans away. John says investigators are trying to determine exactly what happened in the clip and whether it has any connection to Nolan's death, but at this stage, they simply do not know. Authorities are now asking anyone with original videos, photos, or any other documentation from Horn Island to contact investigators so they can verify what's authentic and separate fact from fiction. The sheriff also notes there are no surveillance cameras anywhere on Horn Island, making first-hand evidence extremely valuable. This case remains ongoing, so we'll keep you guys updated as we learn more.
A lot of people on the internet are saying that they're just feeling a bit off and they're feeling like we might not get a fair investigation due to one of those kids that were on the boat. I don't know exactly which one. And again, this is all alleged from the internet. There's no proof that they're not gonna do their job. But the internet is feeling like since one of those kids' parents are a judge in that city, we already know that their ties go deep. And this is a place like Mississippi. Everyone's not just too hopeful that we're gonna find out exactly what happened to Nolan. And we even seen videos before of Nolan doing an interview before with his boys from football. And they allegedly all saw each other on the island as well. And his boys were supposed to go on that boat, but that boat filled up too fast and they couldn't get on. And I just always think, what would have happened if Nolan would have just stuck with his day one homies? What would have happened if he just stuck with them?
It's really like a brotherhood, not just in here, like school, community, classroom, like everything.
Yeah.
Just really having love for your teammates and just Ocean Springs in general.
Do y'all hang out outside of here a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Do we?
Y'all live together pretty much? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We be everywhere.
Sure.
Us three. Last spring, us three, bro, we were together every day, wasn't it? Like when it was it spring when it was cold and then he had the Chrysler.
Oh, that was like about 2 years ago. But every day we just working out, go to the crib, play the workout, get eats, go to the crib, play the game, go home, get back on the game.
I feel like Nolan would be with us today and none of this would be a story. We wouldn't even know who Nolan was. And it breaks my heart. Like it shouldn't be, because they look like him, he should be safer. But also hearing on how they talk about, football, when I hurt my ankle or something, his father came to visit me. It just sounds like they were so close. Why were you not with them on that day? And it hurts me because I've been in certain similar situations when it's like, oh, bro, it's mad people going to this function or whatever. Yo, I'm gonna ride in this car, bro, no issues. Like, I'm gonna ride with you people, I'll meet you there. I've done it even to Tory Lanez' concert. All my day ones were in a car together, that car packed up. I went with my other homies, like other dudes that I knew from like work and school and stuff and just met them at the show. But imagine something would happen to us in that car. Everybody would be like, how the hell was all 6 of them in that car and he was the only one that wasn't with them? It just would have never made sense. And I feel like this is how it's looking in this Nolan situation because we're hearing how close he actually was with these other guys.
Have you seen the video that's been going around social media where people think that they're hearing an argument between people and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument? You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was in and got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes.
So, but is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell, it's too far away, but in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear, like from the side. It's too clear for it to be that far away for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have, I know they said they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
Really?
Okay.
Cops have not talked to you yet.
No, sir.
That's odd.
I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, like, you know, like I had said my plea, like, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunheard, it was whenever, you know, the body was discovered and the autopsy people and all those people were there.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised. Because you knew Nolan well, and you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around him before his body was found. And I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking.
Right.
You know, did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me.
Just to gather information.
Yeah, that the cops wouldn't have contacted you. Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like, that's my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like, that, like, this whole case thing, like, whatever, like, this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So, like, it's really hard, like, for, like, people to just, like, keep on saying things when, like, none of it adds up, honestly.
Think race might be a factor?
Like my wife said, I don't want to believe that, but it's so many things have happened, and so many things have been swept under the rug. Like I said, Nolan didn't see color. He saw people for who they are, and I used to always tell him, son, you need to go out there close, because everyone is not going to reciprocate that same love that you give. I just want transparency. I just want to know what happened to my son.
Christine, why does that make you so emotional?
Because he just had a big heart. Like, to really know Nolan, to have him as your friend it was something special. People aren't like him. He was just different. And
do you worry that he might have trusted too much?
Sometimes, yeah. And that was something we always talked to him about.
And the case is getting national attention. From news outlets speaking about it, everybody debating online if those kids actually did something wrong or not. This is the part that makes it all weird. Everyone's saying he stayed on Horn Island. But now we're seeing images being released of him allegedly at a pool party. This just came out yesterday. The internet was going insane. Him allegedly at a pool party. This breaks the whole case. Now everyone's thinking, did he come back to the mainland with him? Which follows up with what the girl said, that he was leaving because his boat was leaving. Went back with them, whatever happened. And they brought him back to that island. That's why they didn't find him on the 5th. They found him on the 6th. Again, I want to make this clear. This is all just allegations, things that I'm reading online, rumors that we're putting together. But it makes you stop and think. Did more happen? Why is there a picture now coming out with who looks like Nolan at a pool party? It just doesn't add up. And it would have been so simple if anybody could have just told us, like, nah, bro, it's an old picture I posted. That was me and Nolan together months ago, and I just posted it because, you know, I be posting Instagram pictures weeks ago. Bro, I still didn't even posted my Kanye pictures from that day. I'm probably gonna do that today. So I'm guilty for damn sure of posting things late on IG, months late, even years late. But why couldn't he simply just come out and say this? I'm hearing that Instagram page, which if I can go check out and confirm it in this video, I definitely would with you guys, deleted that image. It was part of like a photo dump and then just deleted that image. That image is no longer there. Instead of giving us any explanation on why that came out after, instead of that, that, the image just gets deleted. I'm sure by now the page is private, but we'll double check to see if we can confirm that. The family, the lawyer, is asking to do their own private investigation as well on the situation. I feel bad for his mother, I feel bad for his father. But this is a story that I believe we're gonna get a lot more now just due to how big it's getting and all the national attention it's getting. I feel like stuff that probably would have never came out, definitely now is gonna come out.
Attorney Crump, where do we go from here? What's next?
Well, the deleted messages that Christina was going to briefly touch on, we want to get the phone and figure that out.
Backtrack on that. When we finally got his phone, me and my sister went through the phone. We went in his Snapchat. He had 2 accounts, absolutely nothing. It wasn't even 24 hours, which is how long videos and pictures stay in Snapchat. And I was just like, that can't be. Like, I've seen Nolan whenever he snaps, like when he goes and he's having fun, like he does videos, like there was absolutely nothing, no saved videos. And even my sister was like, yeah, that's suspicious,
Michael,
you know.
We're having an independent autopsy done at the behest of his family. Colin Kaepernick helped pay for the independent autopsy. We flew his body up from Mississippi to D.C. because they wanted an autopsy done by a person with no
side of the home. And Attorney Crump, what do we
interaction with the Mississippi law enforcement, because there's an issue of trust here that is really important. And the fact that they keep trying to say, well, suggesting it was a drowning, but nobody out there reported him drowning, it's not adding up, Michael Strahan. It is not adding up.
And honestly, we are doing this because at the end of the day, I would hope any parent would fight for their kids to find out if anything happened, what did happen. So we just want honesty and transparency. We want a thorough investigation. We want that same respect that would be given to anybody else, and that's it. We just want answers.
Well, we really appreciate all of you being here. We hope you get the answers that you deserve to have, and we hope you get the closure that you need. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
And as we continue to hear more about this story, I was just waiting to keep letting it bubble up a little bit. And I felt bad about the whole Nolan thing, so I kind of just didn't want to talk about it. But we got to get the story out there. We got to push it as much as we can. And I'm praying that there's justice that comes for Nolan Wells. Rest in peace, man. Way too young to go that way. I just lost a friend this weekend as well, a dude that I met while traveling in Jamaica. Rest in peace to him. Definitely lost way too soon. Just sucks to see young brothers like this, man, that are still in that mission every single day trying to get it. And we never know, we fight every single day and fight towards this mission of what is freedom? We think about it as financial freedom. Whatever that might mean to you, we fight every single day. And then to see some stories like this where their life was just cut a bit too short.
And we know he's with God, and that we will not forget him or the joy that he's brought to us.
Was there ever a moment that you thought that if something went down, if your son needed these friends, that the loyalty would be questionable because he was the only black person in this circle that he was in this day?
This is the thing. Regardless of the color of anyone's skin, your hope is that the people your children call friends will be there. Like, that is any parent's hope, right?
What do you make of the explanation that it was because of a pump malfunction that they left?
I would not leave anyone else's child on an island. I would not leave anyone else's child stranded. You can give all the excuses you want, but you do not leave someone else's child anywhere.
You started to talk about Nolan, and you said was, and then you corrected yourself and said is.
Yes.
Tell me why.
Still early in grief, right? So we're kind of back and forth. Before we came here, it was our youngest looks just like him. So just calling him Nolan and just still feeling his presence. So he may not physically be here, but he's still here with us. I would not be able to sleep at night. I mean, I can't right now, definitely we can't, but I definitely would not be able to, knowing that I didn't do everything as his mother to ensure that I knew what happened to him. And that's all we're asking for, is we're asking for answers.
breaks my heart. Hopefully they do something for him this year in the school during the football season, because he was supposed to be out there with them boys. And from how he spoke, he loved the game. He loved the game, man. Rest in peace, rest in peace. Let's pray for Nolan. Let's pray for justice for Nolan. Sub up to the channel, one that road to 22,000 subscribers.